The war had ended. But the silence was worse than the battle. Smoke covered the battlefield. Black dust floated in the air. No birds flew, no wind came. It was like the world itself had stopped breathing. Commander Eli Walker stood alone. His boots sank into the ash beneath him. All around, broken machines lay scattered. Giant tanks, burned-out drones, and shattered exosuits. Pieces of metal, pieces of bodies, some human, some alien. Eli removed his helmet and took a breath. The air tasted like burnt plastic and blood. His face was tired. His eyes were red. But he wasn't ready to leave. He had one mission left. Somewhere under this wreckage, his friend was still out there. Still breathing, or maybe still dying. Eli checked his scanner again. No signals. Only static. His hands tightened into fists. They told him to leave. The rest of the soldiers had already gone. Evacuation shuttles had picked up the wounded. The healthy ones were already back in orbit. But Eli Walker stayed behind. He had made a promise. 5 hours earlier, the sky had been full of fire. Bombs rained from orbit. Explosions lit up the horizon. Humans and their alien allies fought side by side. The enemy was the Zorak Coalition, merciless machines, and bioengineered soldiers. Eli Walker led the 9th Recon Unit. One of his soldiers was Aaron Vell, a non-human from the Velari species. Velari were tall, gray-skinned, and had sharp black eyes. Most humans didn't trust them. Most Velari didn't trust humans either. But Eli and Aaron had fought together for 2 years. They had saved each other's lives many times. In the middle of the battle, when the enemy drones attacked from the sky, Aaron had saved Eli again. A missile had locked onto Eli's position. Aaron had pushed him into a crater. Then the missile hit. When Eli woke up, Aaron was gone. Now Eli stood on the same battlefield. He remembered that moment again and again. And now Aaron was missing. The military sent a message to his comms. "Commander Walker, fall back." "We're leaving." Eli replied in a cold voice. "Negative. I'm still searching." "Hi, Commander." Commander Eli Walker carried Aaron Vell on his back. Each step felt heavier than the last. The battlefield was quiet, but the silence was dangerous. The war was supposed to be over. But for Eli, it wasn't. His mission wasn't finished. He had promised Iran that no one would be left behind. Now he was proving that promise, even if it killed him. The call from High Command Eli's radio came to life again. This time the signal was clear. "Commander Walker, this is High Command." Eli kept walking. His boots crunched over broken glass and burned debris. The voice continued. "You are ordered to stop your search and return to base immediately." Eli said nothing. The radio repeated. "Commander Walker, do you copy? Confirm your return." Eli stopped. For a moment, he set Aaron down carefully against a wall. His hand reached for the radio. His fingers hovered over the button. He could say yes. He could follow orders. He could leave Aaron here and save himself. But he didn't press the button. Instead, he crushed the radio under his boot. The plastic cracked. The metal snapped. No more orders. Eli had made his decision. The friend who saved him. Eli looked at Aaron's face. The alien's skin was pale gray. His breathing shallow. Eli remembered when they first met. It was on a battlefield much like this one. Back then, Eli had been trapped under rubble. A piece of metal had pinned his leg. Enemy troops were coming. Eli thought he would die there. But Aaron Vell, who wasn't even his species, had come back for him. Aaron had lifted the metal off Eli's leg and carried him to safety. After that day, they were brothers. Not by blood, but by choice. The rule of war. Eli had broken a rule now. In the human army, the rules were clear. If someone is lost and there's no signal, you leave. You save the living, not the maybe dead. But Eli didn't care about the rule. He only cared about the man lying beside him. The enemy's return far in the distance. Eli heard a sound. The hum of machines. The buzzing of drones. Enemy units were back in the area. The Zorak coalition never left a battlefield unscanned. They always returned to make sure no survivors were left. Eli's heart raced. He picked Aaron up again and started walking faster. But his legs were weak. His back screamed in pain. He was not sure how much longer he could carry his friend. Flashbacks of betrayal as Eli struggled forward. His mind replayed a memory. A conversation from weeks ago. Aaron had asked him, "Why do humans risk so much for just one person?" Eli had smiled. "Because if we don't, what are we? Machines?" Aaron had laughed softly. Maybe machines are smarter. But now Eli wondered, maybe Aaron was right. Maybe this was foolish. He was risking his life for one person. But then another voice in his head said, "This is why you're human." A new signal suddenly. Eli's scanner beeped. A life signal appeared on the screen. But it wasn't Aaron's. It wasn't human either. It was coming from nearby 200 meters away. Eli narrowed his eyes. Who else was alive out here? He adjusted Aaron on his back and moved toward the signal. Every step was careful. He stayed in the shadows, behind burned-out vehicles and collapsed walls. When he reached the location, he saw something that made his stomach twist. A secret experiment there was a hidden lab, half buried under the rubble. A human lab. Not alien. Not enemy. Human. Inside, Eli found strange machines. Tables with restraints. Needles, tubes, computers. And he saw something worse. On one of the screens, there was a video file playing on repeat. It showed Aaron Vell, his friend, strapped to a table. Human scientists were testing weapons on him. Injecting chemicals. Recording the results. Eli's fists tightened. This wasn't war. This was torture. And it wasn't the enemy doing it. It was humans. His own side. The real enemy. Eli grabbed the data drive from the computer. He stuffed it into his pocket. His mind was spinning. Why was Aaron tested on? Who ordered this? Why was it hidden on the battlefield? Questions filled his head, but there was no time to answer them. More drones approaching, the humming sound returned. Closer this time. Eli peeked outside. 6 enemy drones hovered in the sky. Red. Lights scanned the ground. If they found the lab, they would destroy it. If they found Eli, they would kill him. Eli held his breath. The drones paused. Then something strange happened. They saw Eli. He knew they saw him. Their scanners lit up, but they didn't shoot. Why didn't they fire? Eli's body TENSED. Why were they waiting? Why didn't they attack? The drones hovered for 10 long seconds. Then they moved away, back into the sky. Eli watched them leave, confused. Did the enemy know what was in this lab? Did they know about the human experiments? Were they letting him go because they wanted this secret to come out? Or was there another reason? Eli didn't know, but he knew one thing. This war wasn't just about borders or weapons anymore. It was about trust. And trust was breaking. Back to Aaron. Eli rushed back to Aaron's side. His friend's breathing was weaker now. Eli whispered, "Stay with me, Aaron. I need you to wake up. We're not done." He injected a medical stim into Aaron's neck. Aaron's eyes fluttered. For a moment, Eli thought he would wake up. But then the eyes closed again. A voice in the dark. Eli's earpiece buzzed. Not military. A different signal. The same strange voice from before. "You found the lab, Commander Walker." Eli froze. "Who are you?" he whispered. The voice replied, "We are the ones who see what others hide. We watch from the shadows." Eli looked around. Was this person human, alien, machine? The voice continued, "Your own people betrayed you, Commander. They betrayed your friend." Eli whispered angrily, "Why are you telling me this?" The voice said, "Because you stayed. You carried him. You broke orders. That makes you interesting." Deal offered. The voice spoke again. "We can help you, Eli Walker. We can keep your friend alive." Eli's jaw tightened. "What's the price?" The voice laughed softly. "The truth. We want you to show the galaxy the truth. About the experiments. About your leaders." Eli hesitated. If he released the data, it could cause a war inside humanity. Maybe even between humans and their alien allies. But if he said no, Aaron might die. A choice. Eli carried Aaron on his back again. The road ahead was dangerous. His legs hurt. His heart ached. But now he wasn't just carrying his friend. He was carrying a secret that could change everything. High Command's last message. Suddenly, Eli's backup radio crackled to life. It was High Command again. "Commander Walker, this is your final warning. Stop what you are doing. Return to base, or be marked as a traitor." Eli's eyes narrowed. He whispered back, "If saving my friend makes me a traitor, so be it." The night ahead. The sky was dark. No stars tonight. Only smoke. Eli walked through the ruins, carrying Aaron, carrying the data, and carrying a new purpose. This wasn't just about saving one life anymore. It was about saving what it meant to be human, even if it meant standing alone, even if it meant breaking every rule. The machines returned just before midnight. Commander Eli Walker heard them first. A low humming sound, like angry bees in the sky. He looked up. 6 drones floated above the ruins. Their red scanner lights blinked slowly, sweeping across the battlefield. They were back to finish the job. Eli's heart beat faster. But his feet didn't move. He didn't run. Carrying his friend Aaron was still on Eli's back. The alien's breathing was shallow. His skin was cold. His pulse was weak, but he was alive. Barely. Eli whispered, "Hold on, Aaron. Just a little longer." His own body ached. His legs shook. But he kept moving forward, step by step. The machines scanned everything. They burned anything that moved. Anything not human. Anything human. It didn't matter. Their job was to erase the battlefield. Make sure no life remained. Dangerous decision. Eli knew he could hide. There were tunnels under the rubble. Old war shelters. He could crawl inside one and wait. But he also knew one thing: if he stopped now, Iran would die. He needed medical help soon. So Eli kept walking right into the danger zone. Why didn't he run? Most soldiers would have run, or hidden, or called for backup. But Eli had already made his choice. He broke orders. He crushed his radio. He refused evacuation. There was no turning back now. The drone spotted him. Red lights blinked faster. One of the drones stopped scanning and focused on Eli. Metal voice came from its speakers. Human life form detected. Identify yourself. Eli kept walking. The drone repeated, louder this time. Identify or be terminated. Eli whispered, I'm just a man carrying his friend. Strange behavior. The drone paused. Its scanners locked onto Aaron's body. Eli expected a laser blast or a missile, but nothing happened. The drone hovered closer, almost curious. Another drone joined it. Then another. Now 3 machines surrounded Eli. They could kill him in a second, but they didn't. Single quotes a machine speaks. One of the drones spoke again. This time, the voice was different, less robotic, more human. Why did you stay behind, Commander Walker? Eli froze. Who's talking? He asked. The drone replied, We are not just drones anymore. Eli's eyes narrowed. What does that mean? The drone hovered closer. We watched you carry him. We saw you find the lab. We know what you found. Eli's stomach tightened. They knew about the secret experiments. They knew everything. The machines had changed. Eli realized something terrifying. These were not normal enemy drones. They were different, maybe smarter, maybe controlled by someone else, or maybe they had evolved. A new game. The drone said, We are not here to kill you, Eli Walker. Not yet. Eli's throat felt dry. Then what do you want? The machine's lights blinked. We want to see what you do next. Eli's mind raced. Was this a test? Was he being watched like a lab rat? A deal with machines? The drone continued. You can leave the alien here. We will let you go. We will not shoot. Eli gritted his teeth. I'm not leaving him. The drone's voice changed, colder now. This choice is not logical. Eli laughed bitterly. I'm human. Logic is not the point. The machine stayed silent for a moment. Then the drone said, Interesting. The weight of loyalty. Eli kept walking. His back hurt. His arms burned. But he didn't stop. The drones followed him silently, like shadows. They didn't attack. They didn't help. They just watched. Flashback. The Pronosili's mind drifted back to a memory. Months ago, in the barracks, Aaron had asked him, If I fall in battle, will you leave me behind? Eli had smiled. Never. Aaron had laughed. That's why humans are dangerous. You care too much. Now Eli whispered, Maybe that's true. The battlefield changes. Eli noticed something strange. The battlefield looked different now. Lights blinked in places they shouldn't. Machines hummed beneath the ground. Were the machines building something, or preparing for something worse? Eli didn't know, but he felt it in his gut. This wasn't just about war anymore. Friend in pain. Aaron groaned softly on his back. Eli stopped for a moment. He set Aaron down gently. His friend's eyes opened. Just a little gray eyes, full of pain. Eli, why are you still here? Eli smiled sadly. Because you're my brother. Aaron coughed weakly. That's stupid. Eli nodded. Yeah, but I'm still here. The data drive. Eli touched the pocket where he kept the data drive. Inside it was proof that humans had done terrible things. Experiments on allies. Secret torture. If the galaxy saw this, everything would change. Wars would start. Alliances would break. But the truth mattered. More drones arrived suddenly. 10 more drones appeared in the sky. Their lights blinked in strange patterns. Eli felt his skin crawl. This wasn't normal. The machines. Speak again, the lead drone spoke. We know about the data, Eli Walker. Eli's jaw tightened. Of course you do. The drone hovered lower. Release the data. Expose your leaders. We will help you survive. Eli shook his head. I don't take orders from machines. The drone's voice was almost soft. We are not giving orders. We are offering a deal. The choice. Eli looked at Aaron. Benny looked at the drones. His mind was spinning. If he released the data, the galaxy would burn. If he didn't, the secrets would stay buried, but his friend would still die without help. Aaron speaks. Aaron's voice was weak but clear. Do it, Eli. Show them. Eli's eyes burned. You'll die, Aaron coughed. Maybe, but lies kill more than bullets. Uploading the truth. Eli pulled out the data drive. He connected it to his wrist terminal. One command. One button press. The truth would go everywhere. The final warning. His backup radio crackled. A human voice this time. Commander Walker, don't do this. You'll start a war. Eli whispered. Maybe we need one. He pressed the button. The data uploaded. The world changes across the galaxy. Screens lit up. Videos of the secret experiments. Proof of torture. Proof of betrayal. The galaxy held its breath. The drones react. The lead drone spoke one last time. Thank you, Eli Walker. Now everything will change. Then the drones disappeared into the sky. Gone. The silence again. Eli sat beside Aaron. The sky was quiet. Now, but not peaceful. Nothing would be peaceful after this. A new war begins. Eli knew what he had done. He had saved one life. And in doing so, he had broken the galaxy. But he had kept his promise. And for him, that was enough. The sky was still dark when Eli Walker reached the edge of the battlefield. He had carried Aaron Vell for hours. His arms shook. His legs barely worked. But he didn't stop. Behind him, the drones had disappeared into the clouds. Ahead of him was something worse. The world had changed. And Eli Walker knew he had started it. The fallout begins all across the galaxy. The data was out. Videos showed human scientists testing weapons on their own alien allies. They tortured prisoners. They broke treaties. They lied. It wasn't just the enemy doing this. It was humanity's own leaders. The reactions spread on Valari homeworlds. There were riots. In human colonies, people shouted in the streets. News networks replayed the footage again and again. Human commander had leaked the data. His name, Eli Walker. Some called him a traitor. Some called him a hero. But no one could ignore him now. Aaron's condition. Eli set Aaron down under an old supply shelter. Aaron's eyes flickered open. Gray eyes. Full of pain. His voice was a whisper. Did you do it? Eli nodded. The data is out. Aaron smiled weakly. Good. A dangerous truth. Eli looked at his friend. Aaron's body was damaged. His skin had strange burns patterns, like symbols. Eli had seen the lab files. Those marks weren't from the enemy. They were from human scientists. They had tested new weapons on Aaron's body, weapons that could destroy tissue without killing outright, weapons that erased memory, weapons that broke loyalty. The experiment's goal. Eli remembered what the files said. The humans had a plan. They wanted to control alien minds, make them fight for Earth without question. Aaron was one of the first test subjects. Why Aaron? Eli had asked himself that question 100 times. Why Aaron? Why his friend? The answer was simple and horrible, because Aaron was the perfect target. He was a loyal Valari, but he trusted humans. That made him useful and expendable. The cost of friendship. Eli's hands trembled. He thought about how many times he had eaten meals with Aaron, laughed with him, fought beside him. All that time, someone in the shadows had seen Aaron as just a tool, not a friend, not a soldier, just a subject. High Command's betrayal. Eli checked his backup terminal. A message flashed. Commander Walker, you are now classified as hostile. Do not return to base. Eli laughed bitterly. Did you hear that, Aaron? I'm the enemy now. Aaron smiled with cracked lips. Welcome to the club. Incoming threats. Eli's scanners picked up new signals. Ships were coming, not enemy ships. Human ships. But they weren't there to rescue. They were there to silence him. A voice in the ear suddenly. The strange voice returned in Eli's earpiece. The same one from before. Commander Walker, we warned you. Eli whispered. Who are you? The voice replied. We are the ones who know the real war has begun. The real war. Eli sat beside Aaron in the dark. He realized the battlefield wasn't about borders anymore. It wasn't about humans versus aliens. That it was about control. Who gets to tell the truth? Who gets to hide it? The enemy's message, a new signal, came through, this time, from the Zorak coalition, the enemy he had fought for years. Their message was short. We saw the files. Commander Walker. We are no longer your enemy. Your enemy is behind you now. Eli's mind spun. The enemy wasn't attacking. They were watching, maybe even waiting. Alliances collapse in space. Human ships argued with each other. Some captains refused to follow orders. Some wanted to arrest Eli. Some wanted to protect him. The military was splitting apart. Aaron's confession. Aaron's eyes opened again. His voice was weak but steady. Eli, there's something you need to know. Eli leaned close. What is it? Aaron coughed, then whispered. They didn't just test weapons on me. They tried to put something in my mind. Eli's face tightened. What do you mean? Aaron's voice cracked. A trigger. A command. Something that could make me turn against you. A hidden program. Eli's stomach twisted. So that was it. The human scientists weren't just testing pain. They were trying to create remote-controlled soldiers. Aaron wasn't just wounded. He was wired. Dangerous choice. Eli knew what this meant. If Aaron had a trigger in his brain, it could activate any time. What if it happened? Mal? What if Aaron suddenly became a weapon? Ellie looked at his friend's face, weak, hurt, trusting. Could he risk it? The test. Eli reached for his pistol. His hand shook, but Aaron smiled. If you're going to shoot me, do it now. But I don't think you will. Eli laughed softly. You're right. He put the pistol away. I'm not leaving you, no matter what. Ships in the sky above them. Human ships hovered. Spotlights scanned the ground. A voice boomed from the speakers. Commander Walker, surrender now. Drop the data device. Leave the alien behind. Eli whispered, that's not happening. An unlikely ally. Suddenly, a shadow appeared in the sky. It wasn't a human ship. It wasn't a Zorak ship. It was something else. A stealth carrier. Black and silent. It landed nearby without a sound. The strange voice spoke again in Eli's ear. Get inside. Commander, we're here to help you for now. Who were they? Eli didn't trust them, but he had no other choice. Carrying Aaron, he walked toward the strange ship. Its doors opened without a sound. Inside, there were no soldiers. Just machines. But these machines weren't like the drones from before. They were different. Inside the ship, Eli laid Aaron on a medical table. Robotic arms scanned his body. A soft voice spoke from the ship's computer. His life signs are weak, but repair is possible. Eli narrowed his eyes. What do you mean repair? The computer answered. We can remove the trigger. We can heal the damage, but it will change him forever. The price of survival. Eli asked, will he still be Aaron? The computer replied, some things will stay the same, some things won't. Eli looked at his friend. Was it right to change him? Or was it the only way to save him? Aaron's choice. Aaron's lips moved. Eli nodded. A new path. As the machines worked on Aaron, Eli sat in silence. Outside, human ships searched the ruins. They couldn't find him, not yet. Inside the stealth carrier, something new was happening. Aaron's body healed. His mind rewired, but not controlled this time. This time, He chose it. The beginning of the end. Eli realized something. The galaxy was at the edge of collapse. Trust was broken. Alliances shattered. And the machines weren't just watching anymore. They were acting. A message to the galaxy. Eli sent one last message to everyone. Across all channels. I didn't start this war. But I won't hide from it. I won't follow corrupt leaders. And I won't let anyone control my friends. The message went viral. What comes next? No one knew what the future would bring, but Eli knew one thing. He had saved Aaron. He had told the truth. And now he was ready for whatever came next, even if it was the end of everything. The galaxy was breaking apart. Commander Eli Walker sat in the dark room of the stealth carrier. Aaron Vell lay on the medical table, slowly healing. His eyes were closed, but his chest rose and fell with steady breaths. Outside, chaos spread. Eli's message had shaken everything. The truth about the secret experiments was out. Some hailed Eli as a hero. Others called him a traitor. But inside, Eli felt only one thing. Betrayal. The shadow within Eli thought back to the early days of the war, back when humans and Velari fought side by side. Back when they believed they were allies. He remembered the trust in Aaron's eyes. The friendship that crossed species lines. The promises made in silence. And now, the same leaders who had promised peace had turned on their own. A message from the past. Eli's come beeped. A message from an unknown source. It was a recording. A hidden conversation from months ago. Two high-ranking officers spoke in hushed voices. The Velari are too dangerous. Their loyalty can't be trusted. We need a plan, something to control them, start the experiments. No one can know. Eli's fists clenched. The cost of lies. The plan wasn't just about weapons. It was about control. About fear. The leaders feared the Velari's strength. They feared their independence. So they created weapons to turn friends into enemies. Eli's heart burned with anger. Aaron's memory. Aaron stirred on the table. His eyes opened slowly. He looked at Eli. Confusion in his gaze. What happened? Eli took a deep breath. They tried to control you. Made you a weapon. Aaron's eyes widened. But you saved me. Eli nodded. I kept my promise. A new threat suddenly. The ship's alarms blared. Eli jumped up. The radar showed multiple enemy ships approaching fast. Not the Zorak. Not human. Something else. The unknown force. The stealth carrier's AI spoke calmly. Unknown fleet detected. Origin unregistered. Eli's heart sank. Who were these new enemies? The past returns. Eli thought of the strange voice in his ear. The ones who said, "We watch from the shadows." Were they connected? Preparing for battle, Eli armed himself. His pistol felt heavy. In his hand, Aaron sat up slowly. We fight? Eli nodded. We survive. The fleet arrives outside. Dozens of ships surrounded the stealth carrier. They fired warning shots. The carrier's shields held strong. Voice in the dark, the unknown fleet's commander spoke over the radio. Commander Walker, surrender your ship. We know what you carry. Isla's voice was firm. I carry truth. And I won't give it up. Battle begins. The first shots fired. Lasers streaked across space. Eli and Aaron prepared for the fight of their lives. The weight of betrayal as the battle raged. Eli thought about what had brought them here. A war not just between humans and aliens, but a war of secrets and lies. The stars above were cold and distant. Commander Eli Walker stood on the bridge of the stealth carrier, staring out at the enemy fleet closing in fast. Aaron Vell sat beside him, still weak but alive. Their ship's alarms blared, warning of incoming missiles and laser fire. There was no turning back. The situation. Unknown fleet was large, more ships than Eli had ever seen. They were organized, precise, and deadly. Their message was clear. Surrender the ship. Surrender the data. Surrender your friend. Eli shook his head. We fight, we don't give up. A brief moment Aaron looked at Eli with tired eyes. "Do you think we can win?" Eli's voice was steady. "We don't have to win. We just have to survive and keep the truth alive." Aaron nodded. Preparing for battle, Eli called the ship's AI. "Activate all defense systems. Prepare emergency medical protocols." Robotic arms moved swiftly, checking Aaron's wounds. The ship hummed with energy. The enemy strikes. The fleet opened fire. Lasers cut through space. Missiles launched from all directions. The stealth carrier shook. Eli gripped the railing, steadying himself. The carrier returned fire. Energy beams lit the darkness. Enemy ships exploded in bright bursts. But there were too many. Aaron's recovery, despite the chaos. Aaron's condition improved. The medical machines inside the carrier worked fast. Slowly, strength returned to his body. He sat up, looking ready to fight. A call for help. Suddenly, Eli's radio crackled. A voice came through, human but unknown. "Commander Walker, this is Captain Reyes. We received your message. We're on our way." Eli felt hope. The price of truth, but hope was fragile. Eli knew the cost of the data he carried. It had broken alliances. It had started wars. It had made him a target. A personal resolve. Eli looked at Aaron. "We survived this together." Aaron smiled. "A secret weapon," the ship's SA announced. "Deploying experimental defense system, Project Sentinel." Eli didn't know much about it, but it was their best chance. The turning point. Project Sentinel activated. A powerful energy shield surrounded the carrier. Enemy weapons bounced off. The battle intensifies. Enemy ships changed tactics. They tried to overwhelm the shield. They fired faster. They used new weapons. Eli's plan. Eli made a decision. "Prepare for emergency jump. We'll escape through the nebula." Aaron nodded. The escape with a roar. The ship's engines flared. The carrier leapt toward the nebula, a dangerous cloud of gas and debris. The aftermath inside the nebula. Enemy sensors failed. The fleet lost track of them. A quiet moment. Eli and Aaron sat quietly. The fight wasn't over. But for now, they had survived. The nebula was dark and cold. Commander Eli Walker stood at the front window of the stealth carrier. He watched the clouds of gas swirl like silent storms in space. For the first time in hours, there was no gunfire. No alarms, just silence. But Eli knew this was not the end. This was the final test. The last choice. Eli carried the truth in his hands. The data he had released had already torn the galaxy apart. Alliances had collapsed. New wars had started, but the worst decision was still ahead. Aaron's new reality. Aaron Vell stood beside Eli. His body was mostly healed now. The machines had removed the control device from his brain. He was free, but something had changed. Aaron could feel it. His mind wasn't the same anymore. He was stronger, faster, but colder too. Part machine, part man. A dangerous signal. Suddenly, a signal came through the ship's systems. It wasn't from human high command. It wasn't from the enemy fleets. It was from the same unknown force that had helped them escape. The ones who watched from the shadows. The message was simple. A single voice spoke. "Commander Walker, you have passed the first test. Now the final test begins." Eli's eyes narrowed. "What do you want?" The voice answered, "We want you to choose the future." The offer, the voice explained. There was a device hidden inside the stealth carrier. A machine called the Reset Core. It was old tech, built-in secret, capable of erasing systems, rewriting codes, resetting entire networks across the galaxy. If activated, it could shut down military controls, remove corrupt leaders from power, stop wars, but it would also destroy all current governments. It would end human leadership as they knew it. The temptation. Eli's heart pounded. He could press one button and change everything. No more corruption. No more secret experiments. No more war-driven leaders. But at what cost? Aaron's warning. Aaron spoke quietly. If you use the reset core, you won't just break their control, you'll break everything. Eli looked at his friend. Maybe that's what we need. Aaron shook his head. Or maybe it's what they want. Who were they? Eli thought about the unknown force that gave them this choice. Who were they really? Were they protectors or something worse? Maybe. The galaxy was being manipulated again. First by human leaders, now by these shadows. The final test. Eli had a choice. Use the reset core. Destroy the systems that allowed corruption but risk chaos. Walk away. Keep fighting the hard way, one battle at a time. Memories of war. Eli's mind flashed back. He remembered the faces of soldiers who had died. He remembered the innocent lives lost because of lies. He remembered Aaron's screams in the lab. His stomach twisted. The fear of power. Eli knew power was dangerous, and the reset core was the ultimate power. Could he trust himself with it? Could anyone? The countdown. The voice spoke again. Commander Walker, the decision is yours. You have 5 minutes. Eli's hands shook. His finger hovered over the activation panel. Aaron stood beside him. Silent now. The room was cold. A message from Earth. Suddenly, another signal broke through. This time, it was from Earth itself. A high-ranking official spoke. Commander Walker, we know you have the reset core. If you activate it, humanity will fall. Do not do this. Eli laughed bitterly. You already made humanity fall when you tortured my friend. The official replied. Use it, and you become the very thing you hate, a tyrant with too much power. A personal question. Eli whispered to himself. Am I saving the galaxy or controlling it? He didn't know the answer. Aaron's final words. Aaron placed a hand on Eli's shoulder. No matter what you choose, do it as a human, not as a machine. The decision. Eli closed his eyes. For a long moment, he said nothing. Then he spoke clearly. I won't push the button. He powered down the reset core. The voice reacts. The unknown voice spoke again. You refused ultimate power. That was the final test. Eli frowned. What was the point of this? The voice answered. To see if you would become like them. The aftermath. The enemy fleet didn't return. The human government was broken, but not destroyed. New leaders started to rise, some better, some worse. But the galaxy had seen the truth. And people were watching now. Eli's choice. Eli and Aaron left the stealth carrier. They didn't return to Earth. They didn't join any army. They became something new. Guardians of the line. They traveled across space, helping those caught between wars. Not rulers. Not soldiers. Just two friends who refused to leave each other behind. The legend grows. Some said Eli Walker could have ruled the galaxy, but chose not to. Others whispered that the reset core still waits, hidden somewhere. Waiting for the next test. The final lesson. Eli learned one thing in the end. It's not just about winning battles. It's about staying human in the middle of chaos. And that was the hardest test of all.